This week in PAL Project 1 and 2, we've been researching and redesigning the East Cliff Funicular. Working as a team, we have created an innovative, bold and suitable solution to overcome the previous damage and design flaws. The Bournemouth Sky Roamer is an amalgamation of a skylift and a cable car system.
Through our research, we have discovered that there are many issues with the existing design and the area in which it is built. The East Cliff Funicular lift was built in 1908 and has had very few modifications since. At the time it was built, the technology used was considered to be the most advanced that was available. Originally, both the cars and sleepers were made of timber before being replaced in the 60s with aluminium and concrete. A concrete terrace was also built on either side of the track in an attempt to provide stability. However, in April 2016, a substantial landslip caused by water saturating the sandstone layers resulted in damage to the tracks, the destruction of the lower toll house and the removal of the carriages. The cliff has remained unstable since, but 40 monitoring points have been set up to measure the likelihood of further movement.
The existing design does not take full advantage of the views available, and the structure itself is aesthetically unappealing. Based upon the problems we have discovered and our market research, we have put together a product design specification. In our designs, we considered the social values of our solutions. For example, we know that West Cliff Road, the road at the top of the cliff, is heavily populated with hotels. The main demographic of these hotels are elderly, tourists, and therefore to access the beach they require an alternative route, as the existing path is very steep and 1.6 kilometres long. We are aware that there are 2 other funicular lifts currently in service. However, neither of these are located within a suitable distance for the demographic.
To collate all of the group ideas, we created a mind map. We split the map into 8 categories: slides, wheels, ski lifts, walkways, normal lifts, projectiles, bouncy objects and transportation. Some of our ideas were more out there than others, such as bungees, bouncy castles, slip and slides, giant zorballs, cannons and death swing. Other ideas include trains, buses, bobsleds, lifts with walkways and Ferris wheels. The ideas that we felt were the most viable we then made more detailed designs for.
From this handful we focused upon 2 main options, the first being the death swing. After further analysis we decided that this concept would be too intrusive of the cliff face, as a severe section would have to be removed. Therefore we concluded that our best design would be the Bournemouth Sky Roamer. The pulley system is driven by an electric motor. These are located on each main drive pulley. We decided on this in order to spread the load between 2 motors rather than one. The cars have an aluminium skeleton structure and are fabricated with aluminium and glass panels to give a panoramic view to the passengers inside. The cars are suspended by galvanising high carbon steel cables, which are then strung across 2 structures at each end and supported by a pillar in the centre. We did some calculations to work out the height gain mass of a single car, the time for one cycle and both the energy and power needed.
In regards to the existing structure, we removed the tracks and the surrounding buildings. We replaced the concrete slope by joining the 2 existing terraces together so the cliff will be completely enclosed. An additional hemp mesh will be spread across the cliff face, which will eventually be broken down by plant foliage, which will provide extra stability. The entire restoration and construction will occur in a period of 18 months.
The Bournemouth Sky Roamer is about connecting the road by the beach to the road on the top of East Cliff. Our target market, which we mentioned earlier, has special needs, which we have to cater for in our design. The disabled are an important part of that user group. Therefore, we were concerned with making the cars suitable to fit a wheelchair along with other passengers. To make embarkment easy for wheelchairs as well as the elderly, the car will stop at the station before it starts to turn, in order to have a minimal gap between the car and the platform. Lastly, it is important for the user that the service is as affordable as possible. Therefore, we have put effort into making it as energy efficient as we can to reduce the expenses of running the Sky Roamer.
The design is a large-scale structure. The current design allows 12 passengers or 2 wheelchair users to travel at once. Therefore, we need to ensure that our design meets or exceeds these requirements. This is one product that will be unique to Bournemouth Beach. However, some elements will be batch produced such as craft. Furthermore, the structure needs to be sustainable during the end of life, so many materials will need to be recyclable. These could be aluminium, glass or steel. Finally, we had to take into consideration the cost of whatever design we had chosen. Consequently, we intend for the structure to be profitable. The funicular lift already in place charges £150 for an adult to use it. We intend to keep the cost very similar by only increasing it by 30p. Using this, we were able to calculate how much money we would make at the maximum potential.